welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Where am I? I am here. I am here. I am here. I swear, there I am. Hey, hello. Hey, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm late. I'm always. You know what it is? Is like I think I'm just over the 8 o'clock thing. I need to make it official that I'm over it. All right. So hey, let me see here. What do we got? My camera's all rightish. All rightish. Let me double check here. Like, yeah. Oh, filters. Let's see. Okay, then chroma key. Chroma key. Let's see. I mean, that's all right. Close. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, hey. Okay. So here I am in my Minecraft world. Resume. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Everything's kind of going. All right. So I am indeed here, but where is here? It's like a pretty rudimentary. It says, "Hello, welcome to Pogokiro's Adventure Island. Get in the minecart if you want to live." Okay, hey, there it is. And if you go outside, well, where is out here? Holy shmoly! Yeah, we're up in the mountains. This is where you spawn. This is where you when you first come up. This is where you come up. So when you first pop into the world, it's a bad spot to be in. Like it's not lit up like this. there's no pretty lights, no nothing. It's just cold and snowy. And if you come in night, it's dark and monsters come out and everything. There's no nice way of getting down. There's no like instant path, no easy way, nothing to show you where to go or what to do. No nothing. You're born on top of a mountain and then they leave you to figure it out yourself. Ow. See, and you wouldn't even have like this gear that I have. You would have nothing. So it's pretty rough when you first come in. When you're first born, and you're born up here in the mountains, it's a scary situation. So I took the time to come back and make a little welcoming place to spawn into. Hey, Enderman, I need your balls. Your balls. No ender balls. All right. Anyways. So here we are. And yeah, I've got all this crap. So this is a way to get you home. The easy way. You can spawn into this world, be totally naked, completely totally helpless, and you spawn on a deck that's not even covered in snow. on a clear you spawn on a clear deck with a nice house waiting for you. And there's food and whatever you need in here. Right here, let me leave some iron too. There's here all the iron. There's food, there's whatever you need here. Whatever you need, it's already here. And all you got to do is hop in the cart. That's it. That's it. So hop in the cart. And it takes you on a predetermined path from the very, very, very beginning to the central station. So that even if you're totally naked and clueless when you arrive, you're going to be okay. We're going to take care of you. So yeah, you show up, you're in this cart, you're like, whoa, what's going on? Hang in there. I had to walk this whole way by myself, naked, the first time. So if I could do it, you could do it. Well, I mean, this way is much easier. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just sit here and watch all the pretty things happen. So So yes, I've added another train line, another line. And it works just like all the other lines. So I'm slowly adding stations, bit by bit, as I make new locations. Now, East Bay is kind of cool. Let me take a nap. That's going to be the creeper farm, and then the farm. Um, but I have to. But the thing is, for that, I need to. There's no reason for a creeper farm unless I have elytra wings. I mean, it's hard to make it without elytra wings. So I think I'm gonna go defeat the end dragon pretty soon. Probably not now because it's Sunday morning, and I'm doing my show. But yeah, soon. I got things to talk about, right? I mean, that's what this show's about. I mean, it's cool to see Minecraft stuff, and I appreciate you checking it out. Look. Oh, what a great sunshine! Look at it. How beautiful the sunshine is. Do you see? Oh, geez, it's so pretty. The way it shines against the surfaces. Oh, wow. I have no shadow. They gotta fix this. Come on. All right. Um. Yeah. So I appreciate checking it out. The other thing is, Chanti will come by and chit chat with me, but I think she abandoned her castle. I don't think she's done anything to it in a while. So I might take it over. Oh, ha, 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 ha. I gave you your shot. Because I don't know, this doesn't feel like it's finished. Like there's no roof, and there's no floor, and then there's empty rooms, and I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not playing Minecraft right. Maybe that's how you do it. But if she's done, then I'm gonna keep going because I want to make changes. Like I want to take this bridge out, and I want to put an elevator in so you can get in easily from over here in this corner. So I put an elevator in. None of this nonsense. Have the ow. I'll have the elevator come off that corner, come through down here. I can make this whole platform up here into like a storage room for under there, like I was planning on doing. Probably like put a roof on it and maybe make it so it's not so blocky. Probably build it into the wall here. So the monsters and light it up so the monsters don't spawn. At the top of the hill, Chanti put the crops, but at the top, why? Like it's like the top of the hill. This hill is like the biggest spot until you get to the mountain. So if I don't have to build things inside of the building, I can just build the outside. That makes it a lot easier. But I only build things for like purpose, function. It's hard for me to build things just to build them. I guess that was the purpose of that, just to build it. And that house, that's a nice house. That's like a starter base. Gotta be into playing survival, I guess. Survivalists. Yeah, I'm gonna put the lighthouse over here. The lighthouse goes here, or it will go here. Not quite there. I want it over here, so I could see it. And there's I have nifty stuff for that. Where's that? I have nifty stuff. So like, it's not just me being smart. I have this graphic here, which shows me how to how many I need to make circles. Depending if I want odd or even. If I do it even, the center is gonna be 4 squares. If I do it odd, the center is gonna be 1 block. So depending on how you want your circle to be made. So it's not that yeah. So that's how you start out. The circle wasn't started out right. And if you don't start it out right, the rest of it's going to be bad too. Because the pattern's just going to repeat. The bad pattern just repeats. And that's the whole point. You got to set the pattern right the first time so that the good pattern repeats, not the bad pattern. Like, this is not a circle. This is not going to work. Yeah. So I can help you out. I will help you out. I will help you out. Scaffolding is your friend. Horsey. Hey, horse friend. Want to come with me? He's like, no, not really. Come on, horse friend. He's like, no, I don't care about your golden carrot. All right, that's fine. Ooh, he feels like he's a fast horse. Okay, there. Love. But now there we go. Now he's into the carrot. So come with me. I don't have a lead. And I only have 1 saddle. So this is like terrible. Come with me, horsey. Improvised. Okay, can you do this part? This part's tough. There you go. Good horsey. Coming along. Oh wait, my horse is over here. Okay. Want to come in? Can you come in? I think it's too small. Yeah, here, go over here. This horse is like, what are you doing to me? No leads in there. And that guy's using his lead. Oh, I just want the saddle. Oh, wait a minute. Just want your saddle. Okay. Okay, let's test it out. Oh, yeah, you're a fast horse. But can you... Oh, this is a fast horse. Look at this. Can you jump, horse? Can you jump? Here's the test. Oh, yes. The horse can jump. Oh, my God. This is a buff horse, too. Look at how many hearts. This is a buff, fast, high jumping horse. This is a great horse. Wow, look at me. I got lucky. Well, high enough jumping horse. Look at this. This horse wants to love. All right, here, let's do it. Let's have you guys love each other. Yeah. Did they do it? There you go. There you go. There you go. So let's hope that little baby Joey is gonna be a good horse. I need 2 leads. Should be a good horse. The parents are good. Okay. One on you, and one over here. Hang out right here until I make it stable. Yay, horses! Now I can like make. Now when people show up, they can even get their own horse. Yay! To explore the island. Adventure Island. So I updated my map. This was the old map. Let me take off this RTX here. And you can see the progress I've made. That's been made. So in the beginning, it was just like the iron farm and the gold farm, and that was it. And then the gold farm got improved, the iron farm, and then like the land around developed, the tree farm get added, the train station, the bone meal farm, the bridge. What else did I add? Yeah, the bridge, the dye farm, that road, the train station to Chanti's place. Yeah, I added a bunch. And there was that train station up there, but that got abandoned. But yeah, not pictured is oh yeah, no, that's the picture. That's where it used to go. All right, well, whatever. So yeah, bunch of work. It looks good. You can see the progress. You can see the progress happening. It may not feel like it. Sometimes it feels like it goes real slow. That's why it's helpful to take pictures, because then you can actually see how things have improved, how things have changed. I mean, because if I'm sitting here just running around, I'm like, man, nothing's changed, nothing moves. But no, really, things have improved a lot. Things have moved a lot. A lot. All right, so let me get to the lecture part of this. oh boy. Let's go somewhere pleasant. East Bay. I'm thinking about reworking even this train station because I want it to be a straight line. Like, there's only, 2 turns in here, but I don't even like those. I want a straight line. So I might rework the station up here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at this turn. Oh. And then look, another turn. Oh my God. Unacceptable. So, okay. So I called this East Bay. Shanti's place is up on the hill that you can't see, but there's a hill over there. And up there, that's going to be the platform where I stand for the creeper farm. And up there, the highest one is where the water system's going to be to funnel them into the tunnel, which is going to drop them into the Trident Killer right here. This is where the Trident Killer is, and up there is where the farm is going to be. So, and that platform is where I'm going to AFK, stand there. And then off of that platform, I want to have like other branches to make farms. So basically, it's going to be like a flying farm for crops and creepers and whatever else I want to put. Because any farm I can't put over there, I want to put over here. Like I can't put certain things over there because of the iron farm. Like I can't put beds there anymore, or I can't put villagers there anymore. I should say, because they'll like lose their thing, and it's complicated. But yeah. Anyways, this is the future, and then the mountains up there. That's kind of cool. Yay! So what is up? What is up? Let's see. Let's see. The very, 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 very first thing I want to talk about is this story here. Woman faces Texas murder charge after self-induced abortion. Authorities say a 26-year-old woman has been charged with murder in Texas after causing the death, quote, quote, of, quote, quote, an individual. Note that word, right? The death of an individual. Charged with murder in Texas after causing the death of an individual by self-induced abortion. Okay, so I want to talk about that. The best way to rip apart right wing bullshit is to ask to be specific. Who is this individual that she supposedly murdered? Who is it? What's their name? What's their social security number? What's their address? Oh, yeah. What's their birth certificate? Oh, they don't have any of that? This individual that you made up, that you imagined, that you're charging a person with murder and arrested them, took away their freedom. You took away this person's freedom. For what? Because you say they murdered an individual that you can't name, you can't point, you can't identify? The fuck you talking about? You just made up bullshit to arrest a woman. Took away her rights. You took away her rights for nothing. You made up something. You made up something. You made up somebody called individual that you can't find. You can't point to. You can't do anything about. Who is this individual? There's nothing. How do you murder someone who's not there? Like, it's like people, they have no reason. The fascists in Texas who have taken over Texas don't really operate on reason. They operate only on power. You can see, right? There's nobody there. So to rape someone, if you're in Texas and you go out and you find a woman and you like beat her down and you rape her and you leave her with child, that she's got it, now now she's got your kid in her. You forcefully invaded her area. You basically invaded her country and left you colonized it. You colonized her country. You colonized her country. And in Texas, that's 2 to 20 years in the state prison and a fine of up to $10,000. And or a fine of up to $10,000. So that's for invading another country basically and colonizing it. Okay. However, murder, if you read here, Okay. Texas also enacted Senate Bill 4 on December 1st, 2021, making it a crime for doctors to prescribe abortion pills to patients who are more than 7 weeks pregnant or who mail abortion pills to a patient at any time of pregnancy. Violating the law is a felony punishable by up to 2 years in jail and a fine of $10,000. But the law applies only to doctors and explicitly exempts pregnant women from criminal penalties. Despite these explicit exemptions, the Starr County Sheriff's Office arrested and jailed Herrera on the charge of murder after she did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual who Mr. Starr County Sheriff's Office was the individual that was murdered, that you accuse Herrera of murdering. Who is this individual? You can't point to it because it's not there. Because Starr County Sheriff's Office does not operate by law, but by pure power. The law is clear that you ought not to be arresting this woman on some made-up murder charge, but the Starr County Sheriff's Office is a fascist organization. It does not operate for law, it operates for white supremacy patriarchy. I mean, it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. They made up some individual. They just made up some individual to arrest a woman for it. There's plenty of bad stuff going on in Texas. You don't have to make up stuff to arrest people for it. There's plenty of bad stuff. The problem is that bad stuff helps white supremacy. Therefore, Starr County Sheriff's Office isn't interested in stopping that kind of stuff. Yeah, rape is $10,000 and a fine of up to years. But if you murder someone, I guess it's more. So I don't know. So the rapist who invades another country and colonizes it gets punished less than the country that decolonizes. Right? Who wrote that law? Who does this serve? Who does this system serve? If that's your system, who does it serve? What is it a reflection of? It's not a reflection of the country being invaded. It's a reflection of the invaders. If you look at an individual as a sovereign nation and a violation of the structural integrity of that of the boundaries, of that nation is a violation, then yeah, rape is invasion and colonization. So I mean, it's all fractals anyways. So I can't believe it. So okay, so it's clear that the law is designed to help men and oppress women in Texas. So that means Texas isn't a free state, and we know this because Texas had to kick out a whole bunch of ballots in 2020 in order to for the Republicans to hold on to power. They even said so. There was some official who said if it wasn't for the kicking out of the mail-in ballots, Texas would have flipped blue. Because Texas is blue, but it's controlled by a white supremacist minority that maintains power despite its minority status, the white supremacists. I don't know. I'm not saying anything new. This is not like revolutionary. It's not like it's controversial. This is stuff we already know. People just don't talk about. I don't know why. Maybe because they feel like there's nothing that can be done about it. But the thing is that if you're aware of it, if you talk about it, that's the whole point. That's why the fascists are trying to control the discourse. They don't want you to ever talk about race. They never want you to talk about it. They want it to be invisible and accepted, whatever it is. And and if you talk about it, you start to question it. And if you question it, that threatens the power structure. And the power structure is fragile, it's frail, it can't handle being questioned. It can't handle it. It can't handle scrutiny. So that's why there's these don't say gay bills. That's why there's all these that's why they're trying to ban critical race theory, even the idea of it. It's not being taught in schools, but they don't even want the idea of someone ever being critical of race theory. They don't even want you to think of ever being critical of race theory. They just want you to accept it. Shut up and accept it. That's what they want. Why? So they can do bullshit like this, what they're doing in Texas, where they arrest a woman on some bullshit charge for the murder of some imaginary person who they can't even name. And they're crazy. I mean, that's what it is. They're crazy. They're literally crazy. There's no reason to it whatsoever. They just said, hey, I'm going to make up this person and throw it on this other person I don't like, and that way I can arrest them. What? Yeah, dude, you're the enemy of the United States. If you do that, you're the enemy of the United States. And I know this because your state government, which is the Confederate government, is trying real hard to keep the feds out of Texas. They're trying real hard. Because they know they're the enemy of the United States. Yeah, so that's the whole point about the fascists. Fascists want to turn women into axolotl tanks. I mean, like Dune being back in popular culture, fantastic. Let's talk about axolotl tanks. Those I haven't seen the new movie, so I haven't seen the new movie, so I don't know how far along the story is. But the books have been out for like 50 something years. So I'm going to be Mr. Spoiler Man and tell you. Have they made the clones yet in the movies? All right, so Duncan Idaho. Cool guy, right? Everyone loves Duncan Idaho. Dude is going to die in the movie, or it's going to die. He dies real soon. But the cool thing is that the Benny Thaxol or something, I forgot how to say their name. There's this like group of people who work with technology, and they made a clone. They can make a clone of Duncan Idaho. So they make a clone of Duncan Idaho. I forgot what they call him, but he has a different name. And he's a clone of Duncan Idaho. Rah rah rah. And it turns out, then this clone dies. Well, it turns out they can make clones like forever. So they just make thousands of copies of Duncan Idaho. How do they make clones? How do they make thousands of copies of Duncan Idaho? Well, these Benny Thaxols, or what are they called, dude? I don't know what they're called. They use these things called axolotl tanks. And in the axolotl tanks, they grow clones. And no one knows what are these axolotl tanks, but no one wants, pay attention too close because the cool technology that they get. We don't care where it comes from. Just keep giving us that cool technology. Well, turns out the way they got their cool technology was they enslaved their women. The Benny Thaxol, this group, they literally enslaved their women, bioengineered them to be like stuck to a machine and stuck to a machine, and with their legs spread open, stuck to a machine with tubes stuck in them. They can't move, they can't do anything. They're a vat. They're injected with whatever thing the males want to produce, and then the women, who are now reduced to tanks, non-stop produce the products that the Benny Thaxol want to sell to the rest of the universe. That's what Texas Republicans want for women. They want to turn women into breeding vats to produce more white male fascist soldiers. That's why fascism and patriarchy are combined. They're linked. They're the same thing. You can't have fascism without patriarchy. I mean, I guess you can have a matriarchal version of it. I guess. I'd like to see how that looks. Someone want to like thought experiment that out, how that would happen. I'm sure some science fiction writer has already done it. Like, I need to go check that out. But in our world, it doesn't seem to work that way. In our world, fascism and patriarchy are linked together. Dude, see? Why plug a hole if creepers are just gonna blow up other holes? Like, oh geez. I should maybe sleep to, no more creepers. Yay, that's a good idea. Yeah, Republicans want to turn women to axolotl tanks. So if you love women, you want their freedom. You don't want them to be stuck to be axolotl tanks. And if you love women, you recognize that your freedom is bound up with their freedom. If anyone's oppressed, we're all oppressed. So their fight is obviously our fight. Whoever you are, as long as you're on team like freedom, team truth, justice, and liberty. There was more. I should have. You know what? I forgot. I got a blanket. I need to talk about that. Winning a blanket in a raffle, but I'm not set up for it yet. I'm like still working on the backlog of stuff. Okay. So, oh, it's empty. Oh, I didn't move anything there. What happened to it all? Did I delete it? Did I put it in here? Yeah, I put it in here. The wrong one. Okay. So, before I forget, congratulations to Justice Brown or Jackson. I don't want to say her name because I haven't heard it said yet. So but I know her last name is Jackson, Justice Jackson. congratulations, Justice Jackson, to her seat on the to her confirmation to the Supreme Court. That's gonna be great. She's gonna be great. I have no doubt about it. She is highly qualified. And I expect to hear excellent explanations from her. She's going to be very good at communicating what the court does. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So you may have already noticed, if you're online at all, you may have already noticed that the horde is starting to use the term groomer. So let me remind you, where did that come from? The whole idea of this whole strategy came from this dude, Christopher Rufo, who's a Nazi. This guy's a Nazi. And this is his whole point. We have successfully frozen their brand, critical race theory, which isn't a brand at all, into the public conversation and are steadily driving up negative perceptions. We will eventually turn it toxic as we put all of the various cultural insanities under that brand category. The goal is to have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. We have decodified the term and will recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with Americans. Okay, so what he's saying is that we have successfully decodified, taken away the meaning of critical race theory. So what is the meaning of critical race theory? It's being critical of race theory. Being critical is to criticize, to question, to not assume everything is hunky-dory. So that's to be critical of race theory. What is race theory? Race theory is the idea that skin color determines your inherent qualities, that it's all about skin color and superficial qualities. That's race theory. That's the theory that enslaved all the African Americans, all the Black Americans. That's the theory that right now has arrested Liza Herrera for the murder of some imaginary person. It's crazy stuff. That's race theory. Me being critical of that race theory is something that Chris Rufo doesn't want to happen. He does not want me to be critical of race theory. He loves race theory. Chris Rufo's a Nazi. He wants everyone to think race theory is hunky-dory. He doesn't want anyone to ever question it. He doesn't want people to be critical of it. So he wants to get rid of the meaning of race theory and then remake it into whatever he wants. And the way what he remade it into was the opposite. He remade race theory. He made critical race theory into race theory, and people bought it. People bought it. He took away the meaning of critical race theory and replaced it with race theory, and no one noticed it. No one noticed that he just changed the meaning. No one noticed. I couldn't believe it. Okay, so here's part 2 of it, right? Here's part 2. The strategy here is to use a non-threatening liberal value, transparency. So what's another non-threatening liberal value? Free speech. See how they use these liberal values to push fascist ideas? It's like a virus. They look for non-threatening liberal values that they can corrupt and turn into like keys that will get them into the discourse, and then they can flood the discourse with bullshit. And liberals will be like, oh, but they said the key word. So the strategy here is to use a non-threatening liberal value, transparency, to force ideological actors to undergo public scrutiny. It's a rhetorically advantageous position, and when enacted, will give parents a powerful check on bureaucratic power. And that's bullshit. It's plenty transparent. It's already transparent. What he's looking for is he's fishing. He's fishing for reasons to mess things up. The left will expect that after passing so-called CRT bans last year, we will overplay our hand. By moving to curriculum transparency, we'll deflate that argument and bait the left into opposing transparency, which will raise the question, what are they trying to hide? So, like, that's the thing. They make up shit, right? They just make shit up. That's what Nazis do. That's why the enemy of Nazis is truth. Because if you go by truth, then it's obvious what they're doing. They're making shit up to confuse people. That's what they do. That's literally their strategy. Make shit up to confuse people. That's their strategy. They confuse people with critical race theory, and they're trying to confuse people with transparency. The same way they confuse people with free speech. Because the Nazis' ideas are bullshit. Nazis do not care about freedom at all. They only care about power. But if you shut down Nazis, they will claim free speech, right? They will appeal to the liberal value of free speech, not because they care about it, but only because it gets them a platform to get their shit into the discourse. That's it. That's all they care about. And it's shit. It's not worth consideration or hearing, right? It's just shit. But they don't care. It's shit. They just need to spread it and reproduce it. That's their only goal. So if you shut them down and they claim free speech, that confuses moderates and liberals, because they're all, oh, but that's a liberal value. I don't understand why we're stopping them with our liberal values, because it's not actually an appeal to liberal values. That would require good faith. That would require that the fascist who's appealing to free speech would also give you that same freedom. But he won't. The fascists will not. As soon as you give the fascists the platform, they will use their power to take away everyone else's free speech. You can already see it happening. They won't let you be critical of race theory. They took away books out of the schools. They won't let you say gay. There's a whole bunch of nonsense that the Nazis want to do. But they all started with the appeal to free speech. That's their viral hook. That's the virus way they get in. So they're trying to do the same thing to the word transparency, because transparency is a liberal value, but they don't intend to use it in a liberal way. They're not going to be transparent with themselves. They are going to remain opaque. You're not going to be able to see their intentions. You're not going to be able to see their motivations. You're not going to be able to see their money or their funding. You can't see anything about them. No, the transparency is only for the liberals. It's only for the institutions that the Nazis don't like. No, that you cannot see what the Nazis are doing. They want to stay hidden. They want to stay in the shadows. The less you talk about them and look at them, the better off they are. I mean that. They really don't want you to talk about them. Nazis hate it when you talk about them. Look at what the plans are. Look at the platform of the GOP party, of the Republican Party. The current platform right now. Actual GOP policies plans are, if you forgive the hackneyed metaphor, the Bruno of American politics, the thing we don't like to talk about. After not having a party platform in 2020, Republicans are also skipping any official statement of midterm policies. What do you stand for, Republicans? I don't know. If you know, you know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Mitch McConnell and Scott are feuding about the Rescue America plan, not on matters of substance, but because McConnell believes that Republicans are better off if they do not reveal their policies. Transparency for thee, but not for me. You see what I mean? Republicans want transparency for everything else, but not themselves. I mean, look at Donald Trump. How many times has he blocked releases of information that he had no power over, but he tried to stop it anyways because because Republicans don't care about transparency. They don't care. They're Nazis. They only want to use it to attack liberals. That's it. They just want to use it to attack institutions. The same way they use critical race theory, the same way they're using grooming, the same way they're going to use transparency, the same way it's all the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, come on, figure it out. It's a pattern. It's an easy pattern. Look at the pattern. It's easy. The Republicans don't stand for anything but power, but they can't tell you that because if they told you, then everyone would know. And it makes it harder to deny it. Republicans need to be able to deny that they're Nazis in order to keep functioning. If no one calls them out on them being Nazis, then they can keep doing what they're doing and saying, oh, we're just being conservatives or whatever. Bullshit. They're being Nazis. So look at this thing here, right? Oh, what's this one? Yeah, okay. This is more Christopher Rufo Nazi dude. So Christopher Rufo Nazi doing the language stuff, right? Winning the language war. Use the term political predators for describing teachers. Why? Who indoctrinate? No, teachers indoctrinate, dude. So for describing teachers, basically he says call teachers political predators. Because he doesn't like education. Remember, Republicans don't want education because an educated population is harder to control. Rufo says, I think ideological grooming is the good for Twitter crowd. Political predators better for the offline crowd. See, this guy is all about lying and manipulating the discourse. He's a liar. So, Christopher Rufo, progressives insist that sexual grooming does not occur in public schools. It doesn't, you dumbass. He's just making shit up. He just makes shit up. Damn it, I messed it up. So he's trying to equate teachers with sexual predators, which is kind of crazy, dude. Kind of crazy. Let's look what's going on, right? In the Republican Party, Matt Gaetz is a current Republican congressman. Current Republican congressman under investigation for child sex trafficking. This is his friend, right? He's the confessed child sex trafficker who's cooperating with the feds to get this guy in prison right now. The same party calling teachers groomers are they themselves the groomers. Do you see what's happening? Every accusation is a confession. Who's this guy? They're friends. This guy is a confessed child sex trafficker. This guy is going to be convicted of a child rapist. Who's their friend? The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Wow, the Republican Party seems like it's full of groomers. That's why they don't want transparency on them. That's why they're also a bunch of racists. That's why they don't want you talking about race theory. Because they're a bunch of racists. Then you'll see if you talk about race theory. Oh, that's hilarious. Zombie on a pig. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's why they don't want you to talk about race theory. Because if you're ever critical of race theory, you're going to see that they're all racists. And that all their actions are motivated by bigotry and race and hatred. Yeah, they're Nazis. What do we do to Nazis? Yeah, fuck Nazis. And not in the good way. You didn't see that because that picture was up. All right, well, there was a zombie, baby zombie on a pig. Okay. Look at this. A get out of jail free card. GOP bill would eliminate age requirements for marriages in Tennessee. A proposal making its way through the state legislature would establish a common law marriage between one man and one woman. What do they define woman as? Well, it has nothing to do with age. Opponents of the bill say it would eliminate an age requirement and, in some instances, open the door for a cover-up of child sex abuse. So, in other words, Tennessee wants to pass a law that would remove the age requirements for marriage. So you can marry a 9-year-old, you could fuck a 9-year-old child and marry her, and then it's not rape because you guys got married. And that 9-year-old child is a woman under Tennessee law. Man, that's weird. That's weird how the definition of woman changes. Hope that woman doesn't murder an individual. Jeez. So Tennessee is controlled by Republicans. So Republicans are the ones who are the one. Republicans, every accusation is a confession. Remember, Republicans are working with Vladimir Putin to overthrow the liberal world order. Like all the fascists around the world are connected. In France right now, they're gonna have they're gonna have an election between Emmanuel Macron, who's like okay, and Marie Le Pen, who's a fucking Nazi. She's a Nazi. The French are actually gonna choose between a right winger and a Nazi. Like, I remember when I first went to France, and I didn't know anything about France. I didn't know anything about anything. I'd never ever left, like, I barely left my state. So, like, being in another country was like a trip. And I was 21. My God. And my host family was from Algeria. And their friends were all Muslims, but I didn't know what a Muslim was. so I was like, whatever. and they're the ones who introduced me to hashish. Oh man. Okay. My host brother told me about the Front National. I'm like, the Front National. He's like, yeah, National Front. And he's like, yeah, it's a joke. I'm like, I forgot why he was talking about it, but he's like, it's a joke in France. That National Front, FN, that stands for French for N-word. And then we're all like, stupid racists. Back in the 90s, right? This is back in the 90s. 20 years later, the daughter of that party, the daughter of the leader of that party, who we laughed at the leader back in the 90s. We were laughing at the leader back in the 90s. Stupid Nazi party back in the 90s. His daughter is now running for president of France. Wow. We were laughing at that party in the 90s, and now they're like second place to be president. It's a worldwide thing, this fascism. In Hungary, the same thing. There's a right winger who's taken over the election apparatus in Hungary to basically take away the people's right to vote. He gets to choose the winner. So like Hungary, now that leader wants to break up NATO and wants to be friendly with Russia. You see what I mean? This is like a worldwide thing. Jeez Louise. It's all connected. Okay. All right, how long have I been going? I can't tell. Hold on. All right, 1 hour. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna end off with something. I don't know if it's even Okay, if you remember what I was talking about last time, I was saying about talking about Social Security. I said instead of making Social Security retirement at 67, we should lower it to 55, and then instead of being so harsh with people working and taking Social Security, we should gradually phase out the Social Security as you make more money working. That way you can work without, working without like killing yourself. Because right now, the way Social Security is set up, if you work while you have Social Security, you could lose the whole Social Security benefit. And it's a big process to get it back, and it's a pain, and you don't want to lose your benefits. So people just don't work because the line between working and losing your benefits is so little that it's just not worth taking the risk. That's bad. So what that reminds me of is of a transmission. Let's see. Where's that? So the standard way a 5-speed transmission works. Hold on. Open with. The way a 5-speed transmission works is that the gear, you have to pick which gear would work best depending on the speed that you're going, because the power to gear ratio matters, so that you get to a point where you're spinning the gear but getting really, really fast, but but you have no power. Or you have a lot of power but you have no speed. So it's a problem, right? The way they fixed that was with this other idea called a continuous variable transmission. Continuously variable transmission. You see here how this one works is that as the car gains speed, the belt is pushed farther apart, and then this belt is pushed closer together. That changes the gear ratio, continuously varying the gear ratio, so that you don't have those parts where you're like revving super high and you need to shift gear. You never have that here. It's smooth. The whole thing is a nice smooth transition. So if you map it out like this on a curve, this is what it looks like. A 6-speed manual transmission or whatever compared to a continuous variable transmission. So you get the best power ratio and curve out of the continuously variable transmission. Whenever you try to approximate it with the manual transmission, but you have these gigantic gaps. Look at these giant gaps of inefficiency that are in place. Right? It doesn't. You can never ever, no matter how good you are, you will never get as good as a continuously variable transmission. So I look at this and I see Social Security. I see Social Security. We're having people who are older, age 55, 60, and they're not yet at the age of retirement. So we're forcing them to work full time, but they're old. They've worked hard their whole lives. So that's the same thing as if you're using a big gear, a huge gear at low speed. It takes a lot of energy. You have no acceleration because you have a big gear and you have a little tiny gear. So you're cranking this big gear and you're hardly getting any turn here. You're getting nothing out of it. So it's like a waste of power. It would be better if you could shift that gear down to a smaller gear, like that way you can still go at a good speed, but you're not wasting a bunch of power. You see what I mean? By lowering the age of retirement to 55 and gradually phasing out Social Security as you make more, or phasing it back in as you make less money, right? Having it automatically vary depending on how much money you make. You basically change from our system of Social Security now, which is this blue inefficient line, and you switch it to this black line, the continuously variable version of Social Security, and it will be way more efficient. You'll get way more power out of it, and or way more work out of it for a lot less effort. Because you're not going to have a gigantic gear trying to turn a little tiny gear. That's stupid. It's just dumb to do that. You're going to have gears appropriate to their sizes and everything appropriate, and you're going to have the energy flowing much more smoothly if we do it this way. Just think of Social Security as a continuously variable transmission or a 5-speed transmission. That's how you got to look at it. And if you've ever driven a continuously variable transmission, a CVT, you understand intuitively what I'm talking about. You already know what I mean. You already know what it feels like when you're driving a 5-speed and driving a continuously variable transmission car. You already know what it's like, and you already know why it's better to have a CVT and why it's better to change our Social Security off of this 5-speed manual transmission crap and to the modern version of a CVT version where we phase it in and out depending on how much money you make and at your age group. We could totally revamp Social Security, make it really, really, really good, and then once they get it successful at age 55, we can lower it down, scale it down to age 18, or all the way down to birth, and phase in a kind of universal basic income. And see how that works? You make the prototype and then you scale it down. But first we have to break the old broken idea of going in the wrong direction, of making our retirement age older and older and older. That's like dumb. That just makes it worse and worse and worse. Instead, go the opposite direction. Let's make the system better. We can do it. But we also have to protect everyone. So we have to free the people of Texas, because obviously Texas is not a free state anymore. It's under control of the Confederates, of Nazis. So we got to consider how we're going to free our fellow country people who reside in Texas, who are under the regime of Nazis. That's a conversation for another time. Until then, America, peace. Bogokino out. Stop.